X, all laughing in the Renaissance period, saying, how long will this upstart Christian monstrosity of a fiction endure? And they were the ones behind it and saying, how long is it going to endure?
That's insane.
It was 1,500 years of this bullshit.
Yeah.
When Pope Leo X, a Medici, said publicly, and one of his bishops recorded it, one of his bishops, cardinals, famously recorded him saying, it is well known that this fable of Christ has brought us much lucre.
Wow. Yeah, no doubt. Lucrative. Very lucrative.
Why? Because their ancestors created it, and here's how they did it. Julius Caesar is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They both died on the Ides of March.
Yeah.
They both crossed the river, won the Rubicon, won the Jordan. They both went to Capernaum. They both were betrayed, one by Brutus, one by Judas. They both, everything one did, everything the other did. They both have a calendar. One's called Anno Domini, one's called the Julio-Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
It's the same person.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a historical person.
I know.
So Julius Caesar was God, and his son was Augustus. Then when Vespasian came along and murdered Vitellius in 69, Vespasian's son, Titus, went to Jerusalem and destroyed it. And so now we have God's son, Titus, saving Jerusalem, or the Saviour.
Another
because
Savior.
Right. So what we have is, according to Francesco Carotta and many scholars, you can see Francesco on YouTube. Just watch him. He speaks German, Portuguese, Spanish, and debunks Jesus by showing that it was Julius Caesar in the first instance.
For sure. For sure.
Then you've got guys like, huh?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, this thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. We've got duplexing, brother. So, yeah, watch that. And then when Vespasian decided to murder Vitellius and end the Julio-Claudian dynasty, then began more bloody murder in Rome, and they had to recreate the Jesus myth. So you've got scholars like Joseph Atwill, who you can watch on YouTube, and Acharya S., who's passed away now, bless her soul, who's exposed that this Roman family also added to the Christ myth. And then, of course, you've got all the other Flavians who did the same up until Constantine, 200 years later, and then Helen, the mother of Constantine, who he murdered, I believe, along with many other of his family, including Julian's father, his half-brother. She went to Jerusalem. She actually created all of these name places, the tomb of Jesus, Nazareth, which never existed prior to Constantine. They invented it. So they set up, as you do, they further added to the fictional Jesus story by making him historical and by bringing down the gods from the true gospel, which is the ecliptic, and making it mundane. And now we're all stupid because we're being saved by Jesus coming in the clouds and not saving our own butts as we should, because God ain't going to save no sinners. Okay? God's going to save good people. As Celsus said, he laughed and mocked and said, these stupid Christians, and would God save their asses anyway? He wouldn't save it because they're sinners, they're stupid. They're stupid people, churchgoers. Dumb as dogs droppings. And he said it back then, 2,000 years ago. He said, even Jesus said, get away from me, you workers of lawlessness. You didn't do powerful works in my name and expel demons in my name and perform miracles in my name. Get away. I never knew you. Ooh, shoo. Because Jesus only saves good people. Anyway, you want to make a comment? I've said a bit.
No, I'm good.
No. Okay. So now, that the Jesus myth was founded with JC. If you're a proper researcher, and you've got an open mind and a good heart, you will come to that conclusion. If you want to stay churchy and defend the pedophile Roman elite families, well, you can keep waiting for Jesus, okay? It's been 2,000 years. Guarantee you, for the next 2,000 years, you won't see no Jesus coming in no cloud to wipe no dirty nappies of unclean Christians that can't wipe their own butts. It's not going to happen. Never has. I ain't never seen it happen, and it never will, okay? Everyone saves themselves through good deeds and virtue and sublimating their vices and eating well, not murdering animals and eating their dead bums. That's dead corpse. We are worshippers of the living God. We don't eat dead bums. Rome knows that if you eat dead bums, as you are what you eat, you will be a dead bum. Look around at the zombies. Just do a 360-degree turn with your head when you go shopping next time, and you'll see 360 degrees jam-packed full of autonomous, somnambulant zombies. Automatons, I meant, not autonomous. Automatons.
Nice.
So, look, I'm trying to put as much detail in here and relax about it so that I can remember things that, should be included. Okay, so let me just stay with this timeline a bit more, and then we'll go to share screening so we can look at some good resources to learn up about Julian and get the word out to the world that this apostate was a saviour, okay? He tried to save us from this fascism and hell slave system of Rome. And we need to re-establish him as the greatest man, bar none. Forget Alexander the Great. He knew he was the reincarnation of Alexander the Great. Well and good. Some people know, others don't. And he said it, that's good enough for me. Okay? And Alexander the Great was a hero, and he was great. Because the Greek system was freeing the world of the Persian slave system. It was the Greeks who protected us for thousands of years. And even Julian, who was Greek, still fighting the Parthians right here. The Persians have been warring against the West for so long, man. And it's all Persian families who rule our asses today. I'll tell you the Persian names of the Persian families who are still ruling the world's butts. Farnese, number one. Farsi is the language of Persia. Farsi. Okay? Uses the Arabic script. I learnt Farsi in the late 80s, how to read and write the Persian language. Okay? So when I hear the name Farnese, I know exactly what it means. Okay? Persian. This bloodline rules the world. Right now, the King of Spain is a Farnese, Juan Carlos I. He murdered his brother to get on the throne. He is the King of Jerusalem. He is the military navigator of the Knights of Malta. He is the Roman monarch of the world. So he controls the world. He is the monarch. That's a Farnese family, guys. They still run the Venetian oligarchy through Rome and through London and through DC. Their little businesses. Okay? Medici. Name says it all. Media. The Medo-Persian Empire. So the Medicis, who have been fucking up France, Catherine de' Medici, murdering Huguenots, who have been creating the Bank of England with the Aldobrandini family, who have been banking and making medicines, big pharma for the world, Medici, medicines, the media, who runs the media? The Medicis. They're all Persian families, okay? All of them, because the Persians love the Babylonian slave system, okay? And the Greeks, originally, the good bloodlines, they hark back to Plato and aristocracy rather than oligarchy of Aristotle, okay? There's two schools. There's a freedom-loving school in the West, and there's a slave-loving school, okay? Plato, Pythagoras, all the greats, freedom-loving. Transcendentalists, vegetarian. Aristotle, materialists, buffoons, worldly philosophers, pig-bum eaters, fleshly, lustful idiots, incontinent ejaculators, all of that school, left-hand path, you know, okay? That's what we've been fed in our institutions now, because Justinian shut down what Julian funded and gave all his money to. He even gave money to the Christians. He said, everybody have money. May the schools of wisdom flourish throughout the world. May there be syncretism, eclecticism, and unity throughout all the empire of Rome. And he protected it and died for it. Some suggest that he was shot by a Christian soldier deliberately to stop what he had started, the fire of truth on the world plane, for humanity to be free. He would have achieved it because they loved him. Rome loved Julian because they saw what he did in 2 or 3 years, in a handful of years. And they loved philosophers, the good people of Rome, that is. Not the elite Rome, which write the history, so we don't get to know. And all the fools and morons who call themselves historians, who paint with the same brush as the elite families would have you paint. No, it's got to be done properly, yeah? Properly. And we have to show that there were periods of illumination, the Renaissance, you know? And then again, this was when the Jesuits and Copernicus started globalism, the false religion of demon worship. Again, they also, the same families, Farnese, it was a Farnese who founded the Jesuits with the Borgia family. Farnese, Borgia. Borgia is another conquistador family who set up colonies all throughout the Americas. Okay, the Colonna family became the Columbus family. Okay, Washington D.C., District of Columbia. It's all owned by the Orsini family and the Colonna family. Okay, and these are all Persian, Egyptian families, all of them. And they don't care about America and Australia and nationalism. They want globalism, homogenous, unisex, confused soup of deluded atheists, upside-down Newtonians and Darwinians and Hegelians and Malthusians, and all of these twisted, demented George Soros, left-wing, globy, gay rights, gay marriage, and all of these freaking diversions and stupidities, when already humanity has what we need. We've got a garden paradise we live on. We've got lots of musical instruments. We've got salsa, flamenco. We've got all kinds of music that we can love and enjoy. We have art. We have syncretism, astrology. Why is the world not enjoying the true natural gifts that the Creator gave us? Why are they turning their backs to listen to the lies of these pedophiles who are murdering children, our children, in their wars, for their bank accounts, for their armaments and military-industrial complex to keep flourishing? Because it's such a good business, those armaments. And what do the armaments do? They blow people's heads off. That's noble. That's really good. We should put a lot of money into that and keep blowing people's heads off so that humanity continues. Yeah, that's their reasoning, isn't it? Yeah. Better to murder and shed blood and rape little children and protect them in the Catholic Church, who's owned by the Orsinis and the Farneses, and the Russells own the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Smiths own the Seventh-day, the Mormons, and they're all owned by these elite. Don't worry about Russell and Smith and Rockefeller and Rothschild. They're all Orsinis and Farneses. Don't be deluded. Don't go worrying about all these made-up names that they're hiding. They all go back to the Farneses. Farneses set up Rome 3,000 years ago. They made Rome. Okay? They made Tuscany and the Etruscan Empire, and they destroyed it. Then they made Rome and sacked it and destroyed it and remade it and sacked it. It's their New World Order game. They are the masters of the New World Order. Julian was against his own family.
Wow. Amazing.
Look, I'll add a few more details in here which are necessary. In 1302, the papal bull Unum Sanctum by a Gaetani, Yes, Boniface VIII was a Gaetani, big blood-shedding family, just so you know. Yeah, lots of killing, lots of pedophilia, lots of papal bulls, unum sanctum, the first papal expressed trust in history, which subsequently generated or created the other papal bulls of the Sestui KV system. And if you go in and you find out the years, 1455, Attorney Regis, 1482, Pontifex Maximus, and then, right about here, in 1539, we have Convocation, the last of the Sestui K papal bulls, written by Alessandro Farnese, Pope Paul III, who Copernicus dedicated his book to, because of course globalism and all that demonic upside down theory that we're living on a Santa Claus was created by the Jesuit Copernicus, who, you see the word Nick there?
Copy Nick.
Nicholas Copernicus. Saint Nick is the devil. It's the devil's teaching. Nick, copy Nick.
Yeah.
Just copy Copernicus.
Yes.
And then Gilgal, demonic. And then you've got Newton, this other dude that comes up. And so finally now we've got gravity, and now we can make that good old globe, that Santa globe, we can make it spin now. Copernicus and his revolutions, because prior to Copernicus, the globe, so-called, didn't revolve.